Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today's phrase is do not postpone future plans until life is stable, for life never settles. Go ahead and pause the video now and reflect on this and try to find what the meaning or what you think this means. And when you're ready, unpause the video. Okay, welcome back. First getting off to this, just go straight into the very first most fundamental part of this phrase is that life is never stable. Life is going to be all over the place. You're going to have your ups and your downs. It's life never is stable. It is a wild ride. It goes crazy all over the place. Plans fall through. You have to rewrite plans. Your life changes. You may want to be one thing when you're younger, and then you know the universe basically gets in the way. You may want to be an athlete, but then you get injured and you're crippled and completely out of the game. It's like ultimately we don't have a whole lot of control over what happens in our lives. There's going to be a lot of things. The universe and the world, whatever you want to call it, is a very powerful force, and if it wants to do something, if it wants to change how your life is gonna, the outcome of your life or what's gonna happen, it's gonna do it. This phrase really reminds me of the one famous quote that says "Man plans, God laughs," which essentially is saying that your plans and your planning for the future is kind of it's basically a joke because your plans will only happen if essentially God or the universe or whatever you want to describe that powerful being as, if they allow it. Like if that's their plan, you get it. It can happen, but that's a whole there's a whole like theological thing behind it. But essentially, it's the gist of that argument is that the universe and how things play out won't ever go to our plan. It's we have so very little influence and control over our environment and the world and other people and society is large, society as a whole. So there's not there's not a huge emphasis on putting down plans. I do think plans do have their place, and we'll get into that later. But another thing I wanted to cover about this phrase is that this is typically used as like a procrastination. We use this as an excuse to procrastinate and to push things off. It's like, oh, well, I want to make a business, and like, oh, I'll make a business when I'm more financially stable, or if I have better income, or if like after some kind of arbitrary event happens, then we'll just kind of postpone a bunch of things. We'll put our life essentially on hold, waiting for something to happen, something that may never happen, and something that's not even necessary to happen for those plans. Like you could very well have, good enough credit score right now to open up the business that you've been wanting to, but you constantly will come up with certain excuses in the same frame of this. It's like, oh well, if I get a relationship or if I get married or if like my job gives me more hours or something like that. And so I should take it with a grain of salt, but planning has a place and it doesn't have a place. If it's used as a form of procrastination, just get rid of it. Just kind of throw that out the window. Be like, okay, I'm just going to start working on it or taking steps on what I want to do when you start to recognize that you're using this as an excuse to procrastinate. Next, going on to potential rebuttal to kind of like this discussion, somebody may say some things in life require us to wait before we can start enacting other plans. And my response to that is, yeah, that's definitely fair. I do think plans do have a certain role in our lives. For example, if you want to go to med school, obviously you can't just start going to med school until you finish your bachelor's degree program. There are some things that it's contingent off of previous criteria before you can actually do certain things. You can't go to med school till you get your bachelor's degree. You can't do X until Y or Z are accomplished. For example, it's like those are definitely fair things, but planning in the sense of planning out like your entire lives, like okay, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go be this type of doctor, or I'm gonna do this, and especially when you're planning when you're pretty young and you're not really experienced with everything, you may have a dream job. Everyone has like a dream job or a dream like career they want to do when they're young. It's like everyone's, I want to be a pilot or a firefighter or a doctor or I don't know if a lawyer. What's is there has any kid ever wanted to be a lawyer? Like wake up and like I want to practice civil law, mom. Like maybe maybe that does happen, but there's no real point in like planning out your entire lives and your futures because what typically happens is that once you start going to school or studying things, a lot of people end up changing what their focus is because they end up discovering something that they're more I would I want to say like genuinely passionate about because you may fall in love with a certain career or a certain job or something just because of how it's portrayed. Like how Hollywood and media, they're very good at portraying things in a very positive light, but then when you start working those jobs, you might be like, this job sucks and this is nothing like how they showed it on TV. And then so you may very well just go through the steps and be like, okay, I'm going to go to med school. And then you're partway through your bachelor's degree program and you're like, this isn't that cool. I like computer science or I like psychology or you like nutrition or something. And then you just shift and your entire life just like changes. So it's important to have plans for certain things. It's like, okay, my one plan is I will my one plan is I will get up and I will go do this and that, and I'll kind of focus on certain things, or I'll study for this exam that I want to take, and then you follow those through. But don't try to plan out your entire life and stick to that plan, because then you may make yourself miserable. You may end up in a career or field or something that you just genuinely don't like. Anyways, I hope you guys got something from this discussion. Thank you all, and have a good day.